Please bow your heads. Gracious Father, we come to you today on this special occasion to remember those who have given their youth, their strength, and in some cases their lives. But first we honor you, our Supreme Commander-in-Chief. We acknowledge your power, protection, grace, and love. During this program, help us properly honor those who have honor is due. Let us be reminded that we live in the land of the freedom because of the brave. Thank you for the men and women of our armed forces who have seen combat or worked in support, highly trained and ready to respond to any threat that would jeopardize our liberty. We thank you for their loyalty to our nation, their ongoing contribution to her values, and their compassion for her youth. We pray for the veterans who was crippled in war with a lost limb, blindness, deafness, and any other lifelong reminders of horror. We pray for those who suffer from PTSD, TBI, and any other disorders. We give them comfort, protect them from hunger, cold, and cruelty. We pray for those on active duty and those who are in reserves. We pray for those deployed who have taken up the baton of legacy. Keep them safe. Give them hope. Let them know they are loved. We ask these things in the name of the Son. Amen.
I am the JRTC Warhawk Battalion Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Alana Gordon. Veterans Day is a United States public holiday which began as Armistice Day, the formal end of World War I, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. We observe Veterans Day annually on November 11th to honor the persons who served in the United States Armed Forces. Many of us here, including myself, have family and close friends that are related to veterans, men and women who risked their lives for our country. These heroes dared to go where no one else would go to protect our rights and our freedom. Many have suffered because of it, through bodily injury or PTSD. They felt the need to serve our country and they were willing to risk it all. We honor the most patriotic of us all this day in our own way.
To sum up how I feel about America's military is more than just writing it down on a piece of paper. I've always been a patriotic person. With a family, have served in the military and have fought in wars. One of the most interesting stories was about my great-grandfather. He was a simple farmer from Victoria, Alabama, who was 6 foot 7, 6'7" and weighed close to 175 pounds. When the draft came, my grandfather lied about his age and joined the Army, thinking that life would be better serving his country than working during hot summer days on a farm. He went to Fort Hood, Texas, and graduated from boot camp. My great-grandfather went and traveled to many different countries and saw many different things a simple boy from Alabama did not get to see. I am not sure of the year, but he was part of the Pacific Theater in New Caledonia. Yes. He was of 43 men in a platoon when they came to the coast. His entire platoon came under attack. Unfortunately, he was one of the 3 men to survive. They all played dead until the Japanese left the area to avoid being stabbed by the bayonets. They were there for 4 days before being rescued. My great-grandfather was shot 6 times. One of the bullets was never able to be removed from his spine. He was put in a full body cast. He went by submarine to another ship, from that ship to another, then was sent home. By the time he made it home, he was in crutches, which tells you how long it took for him to get home. So he was not a war hero as seemed in the movies, but he was a hero and a survivor. I know that this country is a great country in the world, and we cannot be here if it wasn't for the many lives that were sacrificed for us. Terrorists that wish to cause harm to us are like walking on a sleeping dragon. Once it awakes, the fury within it so intense that they would never stand a chance. When I think of the word military, I think of the men and women who sacrificed their lives for us. Regular people who took a sacrifice willingly to protect their great nation. The men and women who left their families to fight in the battle. Some returned home with fighting still in their minds. Some came home, went to do greater things, and sadly, for some who came home, the only thing to remember them by is our nation's flag folded and giving to the loved one they left behind. Unfortunately, we are growing up in a time where people do not respect our military. People have grown to not appreciate what the military does. If you want peace, you must stand for it. We don't run from it, we desire it. No one should ever doubt our military. Our freedom was never easy, so we have not made it this far by being weak. Look to our past and see how far we have come. Our soldiers have made great sacrifices. This is what they lived for. One of my favorite quotes from Thomas Jefferson is, from time to time, the tree of liberty must be watered with the blood of triumphs and patriots. This is one of my favorites because it's talking about the ultimate sacrifice. Not every sacrifice is hard, but it is a sacrifice that certain men and women are willing to make. I am very grateful for many sacrifices that men and women made for me for where we are today. It is an honor to live in this great nation I can call home.
Hi, my name is Robert Dodson. I'm in 3rd grade and 8 years old. America's military means the world to me because they fight for the whole U.S. and risk their lives to protect us and keep us safe so we can live the best lives we can. And if you are a veteran reading this, thank you for everything you do.
Hello, my name is Gabrielle Scott. I am a member of the JRTC program. Today I will read my poem, What Does America's Military Mean to Me? Roses are red, violets are blue. Thank you for your service from me to you. From morning to night, day by day, people are becoming new. Leaving to work, leaving to train, men and women in the American military may not see it, but there is a change. With new beginning and new hope, hours in and hours out, dozens of people are working to give new opportunities for me and you. Military people leave and some come home to see the change in which they have sacrificed, for this is what the American military means to me. Again, I would like to say thank you.
Hi, my name is Bria. I'm 9. My birthday is June 27th. I'm in 4th grade and my teacher is Miss Baldwin. And this is what I wrote. This is, what a great day to support or to honor people who are brave enough to almost risk their lives to keep our state safe. We all should be so grateful for them.
Hi, I'm William Grantham and I'm reading a poem called Veterans Day made by me. The sky is high, the trees are low, and this is how my Veteran Day goes. The soldiers fight while I sleep tight. Their sacrifices weren't in vain because now we could take the train. Soldiers rushed us in fright while I could watch a movie tonight. They work hard for freedom for all. So praise to the soldiers who fought, those who live, but also for their family and kin.
What the American military means to me. To the ones who fight to keep us free, it opens our eyes so we can see. Every day I would like to call those who serve and stand tall. Even those who used to serve will stay in my heart because that's what they deserve. Those who stay on left and right will always be in my blessed sight. You are important in every way and be in my heart every day. I will work hard to serve like you and prove myself worthy too. I will fly as a bird in the sky. My love for you will never die.
Hey, my name's Jalen. I'm 10 and I'm in Miss Baldwin's class and I'm in 4th grade. Veterans Day, many people know that a veteran is a person who has served in a military force, but to me, a veteran is a lot more than that. To me, veteran is a person with a caring spirit, a courage, mind, and a brave heart. A veteran is someone who is willing to risk everything to keep the United States of America safe. First of all, if it weren't for veterans, my life would be disastrously different. Veterans and all soldiers give me a feeling of security. Secondly, veterans are all around us every day in life. They may just look like ordinary people. On the outside, Veterans Day, but on the inside they are powerful people who have devoted their lives to securing the freedoms of others. Finally, veterans make sacrifices every day in order to fight for what the they believe in, they protect and die for our personal freedoms and the freedoms of our country. Veterans save our country, they care for our country. Veterans die for us, fight for us.
I'm JC Straw. I'm in the 11th grade, and this is what the American military means to me. The American military is an elite organization that preserves independence and fights for freedom, liberty, peace, and unity. The military provides discipline, and it gives the soldiers a sense of pride. The military also teaches teamwork. The members of the military always put the country before themselves, and that makes them heroes in my eyes. Heroes constantly put others before themselves, no matter the circumstance. They risk their lives every day for us, people they don't know. Not many people would put their lives on the line for someone they don't know. Ever since I was a small child, I've always envied the military for their heroism. I never understood how people that I never met are willing to fight for me and my freedom. Many nights I would stay up wondering why strangers would fight for my freedom. They don't do it for the recognition or the money. They simply do it to serve our country and protect each and every one of us. Recently, I had a talk with one of my mom's friends. He's in the military. I asked him to tell me what serving in the military meant to him. He told me that it felt as if it was his duty to protect our country and our loved ones. He said that supporting what he believed in gave him the motivation to get up and keep going. I never understood why as a child, but now I do. I can thank our veterans enough for everything that they've done for us. I'm eternally grateful. The American military is a team of heroes who came together to fight for our freedom, liberty, independence, and unity. Without them, there would be chaos wherever you turned. Lives have been lost fighting for our country, but they are never forgotten. We should acknowledge them every day, not just on Veterans Day. To the veterans and to the ones who are still serving, thank you for fighting for our freedom. In my eyes, they are still all heroes, and everything they do will not go unappreciated. When I think of the American military, images of superheroes immediately come to mind.
Hi, my name is Cassie Larson, and I'm going to be reading a poem by Alexandra Mendez in 7th grade. While we were here at home, they traveled land and sea to make sure we stayed safe, to protect and keep us free. Words are not enough to give them what they're due. On Veterans Day, please thank them for their service to me and you.
My name is Brandon. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for fixing helicopters. Thank you for everything.
Hi, I'm Amber Turley. I'm going to be reading a poem by Camila Torres in 7th grade. On Veterans Day, we honor all who answered to a service call. Soldiers young and soldiers old fought for freedom, brave and bold. Some have lived while others died, and all of them deserve our pride. We're proud of all the soldiers who kept thinking of red, white, and blue. They fought for us and all our rights. They fought through many days and nights. And though we may not know each name, we all thank veterans just the same.
Hi, my name is Jada Stone. I am in the 12th grade, and I'm going to read my poem for What Does America's Military Mean to Me? What does America's military mean to me? What do my friends mean to me? What does my family mean to me? What do my neighbors mean to me? They mean everything to me. I grow with these people, I live beside these people, I love these people. They have my heart, but most importantly, they have our country's heart. They sacrifice everything for us. Their mental strength, their emotional strength, their mental strength, and even their life. My family is surrounded by Army veterans. My cousins, my uncles, my grandfather, and my father. Having these people in my life is influential. Having family, friends, neighbors in the military made me join ROTC. My instructors have given me hope and structure. I will influence my community to be better and stronger. And I would have never experienced that without America's military.
One.
My name is Razan, and I'm in 1st grade. Thank you for saving us. Thank you for helping us. Thank you for fixing helicopters.
Oh, and happy Veterans Day. I've been asked to share what the American military means to me. And boy, I tell you what, I can say a whole lot about this. Even as a child, as a military brat, growing up and moving around with my father, I always knew that the military was special, not just because it was my dad's job, but I always just felt a sense of pride, that he felt when putting on his uniform every morning to go to work, how he was proud of what he was doing, that he was doing something worthwhile, that he was doing something that was just greater than himself. So I guess the first thing I would say was that the military means to me, and it gives me a great sense of pride to have had an opportunity to serve. The next thing I would say that our military, what it means to me, is the fact that a great deal of sacrifice comes from people who decide to serve in the military. Again, sure, it's a job, it's a career, but it's much more than that. It is an opportunity, again, to do something for someone other than yourself. It is sometimes a thankless job, but it is a selfless service that veterans give. They sacrifice holidays away from family. They miss birthdays. They miss family gatherings. Sometimes they miss sad occasions too, because of their commitment to serve our nation. The other thing I would have to say that the military represents to me is protection. All of you know that our veterans serve to protect our country, not just our physical borders, but our way of life. The fact that we can pretty much say whatever we want to without fear of reprisal from the government. The fact that we can go from state to state without being hounded by our government, without having to check in with the government about where we are. So the protection of those rights means a great deal. And I think the thing that's most important to me that America's military means to me is this. And I'm going to share with you a Bible verse, one of my personal favorites, that says what America's military means to me. And it says, "Greater love has no one than this, that he lay down his life for his friends." That's John 15:13. So what that means to me is that people I don't even know took it upon themselves to volunteer to put themselves in harm's way, to protect me, and to provide security for our country, which in the end gives me a great sense of pride to be a member of the military and to be a citizen of this country. I love our military. Thank you.
So the kids asked me this time to actually participate in their project for class. So they asked me what the United States military has meant to me. And as I've grown older, my understanding of what veterans of the U.S. Armed Forces means to me has changed. I grew up like the majority of Americans in a very small town. The only television channels we had were on, off, and Channel 20. And Channel 20 was PBS. There were veterans in my community, including grandparents, uncles, cousins, but they never really talked a lot about their experiences at war, their personal struggles defending freedom, the sacrifices made by their families. And then I had the opportunity to move here to Daleville back in 2007. My understanding of all of it, the military in general, was changed for the better. As a child, we would read in history books, not Google, we didn't have Google, about wartime events. A lot of the people in those stories were just pictures in a book to me, and I never really thought about their experiences past a few minutes in the history of the world that we were reading about, that they were involved in. Now I've had the privilege of assisting military families as they raise their children. I've witnessed parents being sent on unemployments, the physical and mental struggles that returning soldiers and their families have to navigate. So now for me, there's a face and a personality and a spirit that I've attached to the military. When I meet military folks, I already know the most important things about them. I know that they're selfless, dependable, honorable. I know that they never give up, that they never quit, that they find a way to make the impossible happen. I know that they will move to a new town and build a family from the people that they meet regardless of their differences. I know that they will stand up for one another in times of trial and especially in times of tragedy. And honestly, all of the military families I've met have really enriched my life experience, and I think that's one of the reasons that it's so hard to walk away from a military community, especially a community like Daleville, where stereotypes don't mean anything, and people are really given a chance to define themselves. The guest speaker for today's program is one of the many people that have enriched my life for the better. Back in 2007, when I arrived, the Pride of the South had this extremely outgoing drum major that would shoot fire out of his sleeves. And I'm not making that up. You can find that on YouTube even today. He was active in the band, almost every club on campus, and was a distinguished member of our championship rifle team. He was a leader, a problem solver, but more importantly, a student who had learned to be an honest friend to his classmates. He was there to call them out kindly when they were unraveling, but was there with them all of the way and help them to become better students, better friends, and better citizens. He's one of many that I've met that have set the high standard by which we judge where our future students should be, and I cannot be more proud and more honored to introduce him to you today. Captain Christopher Richardson was born just down the road of Daleville High School at Lister Army Hospital on Fort Rucker in 1990. That was back when it had a delivery room. You can't do that there now. He attended the Daleville City School system from kindergarten until graduating from Daleville High School in May of 2008 as one of 3 valedictorians that year. After graduation, Captain Richardson started his military career by attending the U.S. Air Force Academy. He walked on the NCAA Division I rifle team for his first 2 years at the academy. During his 3rd year, he was selected to participate in an exchange semester and attended his spring semester of his 3rd year at the U.S. Military Academy. Captain Richardson graduated from the United States Air Force Academy in 2012 and commissioned as a 2nd lieutenant and also earned a bachelor's degree of science in biology. After graduation, Captain Richardson was selected to attend the Air Force's undergraduate pilot training program, where he started his career as a pilot in the United States Air Force. After flying approximately 182 hours in the T-6 and T-38 during the 1 year of the program, Captain Richardson graduated with distinguished honors and was selected to fly the F-22 Raptor, one of 8 individuals out of approximately 1,000 graduates that year to be selected for the F-22 Raptor. He finished survival training and was introduced to fighter fundamentals before traveling to Panama City, Florida, to complete the 9-month basic course for the F-22 Raptor. After completing the basic course, Captain Richardson was assigned to Joint Base Alaska from May 2015 to May 2019. During the 4-year tour, he traveled to numerous places to include Singapore, Tokyo, and Okinawa, Japan, and a combat deployment to the Middle East where he flew 136 combat hours over the skies of Syria and Iraq. Additionally, Captain Richardson earned a master's degree in business administration while he completed multiple training flight upgrades, ultimately becoming an instructor pilot in the F-22 Raptor. After leaving J-Bear, Alaska, Captain Richardson moved to Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada, and he's currently an operation test pilot for the F-22 Raptor with approximately 800 flight hours. He works in the 422 Test and Evaluation Squadron, whose primary mission is to vet combat capability in a realistic environment and create tactics to counter threat weapon systems. Captain Richardson is married to Leanne Richardson, who is also a U.S. veteran. Leanne graduated from Daleville High School as the 2010 class valedictorian and graduated the University of Alabama summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Biology. She served 4 years in the United States Air Force, received a master's degree in public health, and is currently a doctoral student at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas for public health. I hope that you listen to the words that he sent us, and it'll move you to be better to your community and especially be better to your veterans.
Hi, my name is Chris Richardson, and I am happy to be a part of your Veterans Day program. I was asked by Mrs. Stephanie Robinson to share some of my experiences in the military with the student body. While I did want to share a couple points with you, I felt that it would be better for me to create a video to help describe some of my experiences. This video will start in the summer of 2008, the summer after I graduated high school, and take you in chronological order all the way through my military career, starting from the academy. Let's roll the video. I will caveat, a couple parts in the video were taken from the F-22 demonstration team, just because based on my job and based on the classification of it, a lot of it, of what I can do, I cannot share with you. So I wanted to try and take opportunities where I could show to the public and show to the student body the perspective that I have. Up until this point, I've been very fortunate with the opportunities that I've had before me. And if I have my sources correctly, it sounds like your superintendent has asked the student body to answer the question of what the military means to you. And I'd like to make a comment of something similar to that, but what it has meant to me to serve in the military. And I can sum that up by sharing with you a single quote. And the quote is, "At the end of our lives, I think it's unlikely we'll be counting our money or cataloging the deals that we've made or the things we've managed to accumulate. Instead, I think it's more likely that we may simply ask ourselves a question, did I make a difference?" And that's why I joined the Air Force. I wanted to join a community that was greater than myself and be able to try and make a difference in the world. However, I will say that you don't have to join the military in order to make a difference. For example, my wife, Leanne, she served 4 years in the Air Force. However, since then, she has separated, and Leanne is currently getting her doctorate at UNLV in public health. If any of you have any questions concerning the Air Force, or specifically my career and the experiences that I can share with you, or if you have questions about trying to enroll in either the Air Force Academy or any of the military academies, then I'm happy to help. Please send them to the email that I have listed, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks.
We are here today to honor all of the veterans. That's the people that have served in our United States Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Army, and Navy. And you see one going over right now, don't you? Okay? We would not be doing our job if we didn't honor those who couldn't be here today. So we're going to talk just a minute about those people. And I'm going to call your attention to just use your eyes and your ears and not your mouth, okay? Listen very carefully to these words, all right? I want to call your attention to this small table in the center of our ceremony. It occupies a place of dignity. It is set for one person, symbolizing the fact that members of our armed forces are missing from our ranks. They're referred to as POWs and MIAs, prisoners of war and missing in action. We call them comrades, brothers. They're unable to be with us today and their loved ones, so we join together to pay humble tribute to them and bear witness to their continued absence. This table set for one is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his or her suppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the frailty and purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call of arms. The single red rose in the vase signifies the blood that many of them shed in sacrifice to ensure our freedom and the freedom of our beloved United States of America. This rose also reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep the faith at home while waiting the return. The yellow ribbon in the vase represents the yellow ribbons worn on the lapels of the thousands who demand with unyielding determination a proper accounting of our comrades who are not among us today. There is a slice of lemon on the plate, and that reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless fallen tears of families as they're waiting. The glass is inverted. They cannot enjoy a meal with us today. The chair is empty. They are not here. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope that lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors, into the arms of the grateful nation. Let us pray to the Supreme Commander that all of our comrades will soon be back within our ranks. Let us remember and never ever forget their sacrifices. May God forever watch over them and protect them and their families.